In this episode, we're going to talk about what we call a peace of mind bedbug service. And what we're talking about is, you think you might have bedbugs, you can't confirm it. What do you do to make yourself sleep well at night? Welcome everybody to Bedbug TV. I'm your host, Jeff White. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about a peace of mind bedbug service. And so what I mean by that is, let's say you think you might have bedbugs. You're having some sort of bites you can't explain. All signs point to possibly having brought bedbugs into the house. But for the life of you, and maybe a pest control professional, you can't confirm it. And so one of the things a lot of people talk about is, well, let's just install some monitors and we'll do a periodic visual inspection and we'll just keep an eye on it. Well, that may not be good enough for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, I'm being bit by something. It sure feels like bedbugs to me. It looks like bedbugs. I know we're not supposed to definitively say it's bedbugs based upon bites, but something's up. And I just don't know how comfortable I am with just installing monitors and keeping an eye on it. What can you do more to make yourself sleep well at night? Let's be honest, that's what we're talking about here, is being able to lay down in bed and actually be able to get a good night's sleep. And so, what can you do? What can you do to make yourself rest easier? So obviously we talked about monitors. And I think at a baseline, what I would do in this situation is, yes, I would still install monitors, whether it's under the leg interception devices like the BlackOut I have here in my hand. They go into the legs of beds and couches and catch bugs as they move around. Or a standalone device like the Sense Active Volcano. You put two of these under, beds and couches, and they also will catch bedbugs as they move around. And so the idea there is things that you can do to help you find the bugs if you actually have them. The second step of things that I think are pretty self-explanatory that you definitely want to consider is using Cymexa dust or another pesticidal dust. And so what we can do with Cymexa dust, for instance, is we can go in and we can put that dust down in areas very lightly where we think bedbugs would travel. And so around the bed legs, maybe along the bed frame, maybe along the baseboards in a very light fashion, consistent with label directions. So that way if there are bugs moving around that you're not detecting, they may come in contact with the Cymexa and succumb to that exposure. And so monitors and Cymexa dust or any other type of pesticidal dust in a targeted, label, appropriate fashion are two things that you can consider doing. In addition to that, you could also consider putting encasements on the beds. And so, at a minimum, encasing the box spring, possibly encasing both the mattress and box spring, because we know bedbugs can get inside of a box spring. And let's say the bites you're experiencing are being caused by two bedbugs. Two bedbugs are insanely tough to find, and they could very easily be up inside that box spring hiding. And no matter what you do, no matter what any pest control professional does, you may never be able to find them. And so if I take an encasement and I install it on the box spring and lock those bugs in and maybe put a little dust inside the box spring, pesticidal dust, and consistent with label directions again, and zip it closed, that alone may take care of your problem. And so monitors, what else did we talk about? Cymexa dust, encasements, and then of course a visual inspection periodically as you go through this trying to figure out what's going on. Now either you can do that as a homeowner, there's lots of videos out there, I've shot many on Bedbug TV that you can go and watch on how to inspect a bed, or you can hire a pest control professional. Now obviously my first recommendation would be to hire a pest control professional, but I also respect that not everybody can afford a pest control professional. And so the bottom line is you should probably be conducting a visual inspection once a week, once every other week if you're being bitten by something and can't explain it. The bottom line is those four components: visual inspection, monitors, some sort of Cymexa or pesticidal dust, and or encasements are four things that you can do to help yourself sleep better at night and hopefully address that problem. One last thing you can consider, of course, is a liquid pesticide as well. A lot of pesticides you can apply on the baseboards and other things. Now that would counteract the dust that we talked about before, but it is another option that you can throw in there that you could potentially, again, pursue. You just want to make sure if you do go that direction that the two pesticides don't counteract each other and or you're following, not and or, you need to always be following label directions. And so those are the things that make up a peace of mind service, just things that you can be doing. If something is going on, you can't figure out what it is, and just keeping an eye on it is not enough for you to sleep well at night. If you have any questions, jeff.white@bedbugcentral.com, and I hope to see everybody soon enough.